Happy One Wheel Wednesday, everybody. My name is Scot Mendenhall. Somebody told me once upon a time that I have too much of a radio voice for a simple podcast, but we're always stoked. We're stoked about the people that we get to hang with. This is a Scot Mendenhall and Friends podcast. We got the one and only Holly Mendenhall to the right.
Hello, everybody.
We are
glad you're here.
Followed with the Lily today.
One and only.
Hello.
Yep, still
I'm over here.
There we go. All right, we got the ladies. They're wearing Vikings today. Is there a reason we're wearing Vikings today?
Of course. I mean, you can wear
Skull.
Vikings anytime you want, but if you don't know, it's draft week.
Draft week in
So
football.
let's go.
Holly's trying to get drafted. That's why she's
As the
here.
kicker.
Yeah.
She wants to be the kicker.
I already got asked, guys.
Yeah. All right. I can't wait to hear that.
Hold on. I got a lot going on in my life right now.
That's what you said? Yeah. I have a lot. 8 kids I'm trying to raise. Hey, if you're brand new around here, man, we cover things all about the one wheel. If you don't know what that is, oh my gosh, you're missing out on one of the
How
coolest.
did you get here?
If you're looking for something
Great
that causes
question.
is the sensation of floating, that one wheel is that thing for you. So, and stick around here. You're going to hear a lot about it. We'll show videos and stuff. But we're pretty stoked about our guest today. We're not going to delay very long because we have a limited amount of time.
He needs an introduction.
He does.
Because Scott is really great at introductions. I know, lots of pressure. But the guest, if you're listening, he's so good at introductions. It will make you smile, and we can't not give you one today. So, without further ado.
Okay, I thought about the introduction for
Nice. I knew
our
you'd be
guest
thinking about
today.
it.
I've been thinking about it, and I was like, is he just so awesome that it's his name that
go.
permeates the one wheel world, that it's like you just say his name and everybody gets it, or does he need this introduction?
No, he needs it.
He does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I don't. Okay,
He needs it because it will make him smile.
The
And,
dude's
like,
smiling all the time. I've never seen him in a video not smile.
You are correct. I've never seen him not
I don't.
smile. Even on like the serious podcasts and things, he's
He's always got that little smile of like, even on the things that they've had to cover that aren't that exciting. He's still got a little, like, you can just tell this guy sees the world on the bright side of life. He's a gem. Okay, so let's see how we do. I'm not feeling it exactly, but we'll go. All right, guess today. He once upon a time tested out a helmet with fruit in it and taught us all that helmets are the best thing for your one wheels. He used to have a mullet. Before that, he had long hair and shaved it all off because the pint sold so well. The man got the last name that is close to dirt, but not dirty. He's a good man. He rides a one wheel, not because he has to, but because he gets to. He drinks kombucha. He has a water bottle that looks like it belongs on a water cooler. This man is a legend amongst stars. He shines brighter than the moon. There's planets that look upon him and wish they were him. It is the one and only Jack MUDD, everyone.
Wow.
that was fantastic.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
There it is.
They got me fired up, Scott. That was
I know
epic.
we always
go.
say we should record those for people to have as like their alarms.
Well, we can,
Could
if
you
you want,
imagine?
I
if you
need
want that
that.
clipped, we can get it for you. But my favorite was
Can I
this,
license that? Yeah.
You can. It's all yours, man.
My favorite was the planets look to you and want to be you. That's serious.
My favorite was last name is kind of like dirt but not dirty.
Unbelievable.
There's a whole movie.
Yeah,
made
and
about
Jack,
him.
here's
Where
what.
do we even go from here?
I know,
We
I
should
know.
Sign off.
Like, I don't even write this stuff down. That's the wild bit. If I probably wrote it down, it could be worse. But it's just
Right.
going straight from my head. Is like, how do you? It just, yeah, it's fun. You got to
That's a
recall really.
gift.
I don't know if it is.
I think so too, Jack.
I don't know. I would
think
not.
that's a gift.
Yeah,
I think that's a
okay.
gift.
I keep saying
Hey,
it, when you need a
before-
commentator, he's your man.
I'm your man.
Yeah, hire
Right?
him right now.
100%.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm
Or
sorry
else.
to be so controlling, but
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah, wait,
Or else, Scott.
we need to get him hired. I'll make sure he's there on time.
Jack, we invite
That's
Jack on
pretty
here
easy
only
to
for the
do.
ladies.
It's not that hard.
We're all talking.
For all the ladies, just to tell Jack, get Scott to be a commentator. No, I would do it in a heartbeat. It'd be hilarious. I can't remember anybody's name. So if you're having me, I just think we need to put in races, give them all colored helmets so it's easier to follow.
That's one big note out of last year's race.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Or vests that everybody gets.
from the drone shot, and everyone looks exactly the same. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a little tough.
It's tough in
Hey,
every race.
before
it
we-
is. Yes.
Before we jump into Onewheel, I have a question for Holly. Who do you want the Vikings to draft?
Ooh, do you know?
Do you have? I don't know the Vikings pick, first of all, but it's draft week, which I forgot about. But yeah, do you have a pick? Are you how involved are you, Holly?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I have often said my husband created a monster because I never
agree.
used to watch football. And then once he taught me the game, now I'm like the crazy person.
Agree.
When
She
it
is.
comes to I know just enough, but not enough. So I'm just really crazy. Of course, I want them to draft me. I always say that I will go be the kicker for the Vikings because we just struggle with kickers. So, of course, myself.
Right. Respect.
You're saying yourself, get out of here.
No, I don't follow it quite like that. Like you can ask
Yeah.
my 15-year-old son. He knows all the people that are up for like top draft, this and that. I will learn those names as I'm watching, but I don't know them right now,
Makes
Now,
sense. Makes
now,
sense.
Jack, are you a football fan? Do you follow it? Again, for those watching this podcast, if you didn't listen to last week's podcast drop from Onewheel, what are you doing with your life? You should be over there listening to it. Jack really exposes a lot of things about who he is and what he was going to do before he jumped into Onewheel. But for those that haven't watched that, do you still follow sports to that much involvement?
I'm a huge football nerd. Yeah, massive.
I knew I
and
liked
so
you.
For me, yeah. I mean, I grew up. I grew up playing. I played football in high school. Kind of maybe wanted to try to play. If I played football in college, I would have had to have gone to like a really a small D3 school. It wasn't very good. And at the end of the day, I decided that I just wanted to have a different college experience. I ended up going to Oregon. There's no way that I could have played football at Oregon.
For the Ducks?
Like a top 10 program in the country. But so I'm like a psychopath Oregon football fan. Love going to those games. Follow way too closely. They lose, it ruins like not only my week, like I'm in too deep. And I'm a big Niners fan. San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
As well as, the other Bay Area sports teams. So, that was like, what I grew up doing and grew up loving. And I studied sports marketing at University of Oregon and kind of thought I would go into that world. And then, Onewheel just kind of like materialized out of nowhere. So, took me in a little bit of a different path, but obviously there's some parallels too. So, yeah.
So 49ers, there's been a lot of rumors that the Vikings would make some kind of trade to get Lawrence from you guys. Is that right? Is that Lance? Sorry,
I
Lance.
can see that.
Like we would send Kirk Cousins to you guys because of your coach's relationship with him. You know how right now all lies really are being told outside of the Packers and Jets deal. That did happen.
Rodgers,
Done deal.
Yeah, for Rodgers. That was, again,
Saga.
that's huge for us here
Yeah.
in Minnesota because we played him twice a year, and so now he's gone. It feels like the Vikings are primed to kind of be kings in our division. We'll see.
You got Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. You guys got dudes. I think Trey Lance, wasn't he from Minnesota? Did he play high school football or in the
Midwest,
northern central? That's what the people call it, Midwest. Yeah.
That's what people
The northern central part of the country.
That's okay.
You can call it that if you're trying not to be offensive, I guess.
Because
I just straight up forgot.
Don't know.
That's okay. Hold on. We're going to quantify. You have a lot of permission to do that. We'll ask you a very. This has nothing to do with what we've been talking about, Jack. And people watching are going, are you going to talk about one? We might get to it. We might not. We're dealing with a good friend and a great human, and he's more than just Onewheel stuff. So
the planets look to him.
Yeah, the planets look to him. So we need to learn and pull from the spirit of Jack Mudd here. Okay, but do you know what a marsupial is?
Of course.
Okay. Now, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but that's a good answer, but we got to get a secondary answer of what is a marsupial?
Like a kangaroo.
Yeah, okay. What makes a kangaroo a marsupial, Jack?
So Does it have to do marsupials?
You can't do
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
That's not fair. He's giving you.
Does it have to do with pouches?
Yes, it does. Okay, he got there. It took him a little bit. Okay,
So is that the only? What I don't know, and I'll just be very candid about this. What I don't know is having a pouch the only criteria to be a marsupial, or are there other?
I believe
Great question.
I'm 78% sure that it has to do with that. It just has the pouch and it carries the babies in the pouch. That's
Okay.
what what
a weird feature! Isn't that a crazy?
That's
feature?
wild.
That's so.
But
it's so wild. A pouch built in.
But like I feel like as an infant, way to go. I mean, it just looks inviting, like warm. It's furry. I don't know. It looks like the way to go. But the reason I asked you that question, Jack, is because in a podcast earlier, we got to the marsupial question, and I asked Lily, you know what that is? She's like, yeah, lizards. So
No,
quick
I
to
made
say
that-
lizards.
I made it
She
up.
was being
She
silly.
did not.
That laugh. That sympathy
So-
laugh.
Whatever you don't know, we can help counteract that. Just asking Lily a few
Oh
simple
my
questions,
gosh.
and you'll be okay. Like again, a podcast or
Just
two ago.
throwing her under the bus.
Yeah,
Did you
Throwing her
ever
under the
watch?
bus here.
Did you ever? What's the show with?
can't help you when there's a lot of shows.
Did you ever watch a show with Chanel West Coast? Because I feel like that's me. on the
Ridiculousness.
Ridiculousness.
Oh, yeah.
With what's his face?
Rob Deerdeck.
Rob Deerdeck.
I'm glad I'm here.
I feel
There's
like
been a
I'm
couple
Chanel
wheelers
West
in
Coast.
that
He's
show.
like the
There has.
Yeah, there has.
Yes.
one
yes.
wheelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, speaking of
I don't know what you're talking about.
football and one wheel, we'll bring it all together, and people are going to be just like, how does this happen? Okay, you're a big football fan. Did you watch when Monday Night Football was in Kansas City and they did the intro to the stadium and they had 3 or 4 one wheels coming into the stadium?
What? No.
I kept meaning to record
Where
it
do we
and
find
put it
that?
on Instagram. But you know how every week the Monday Night Football has a new intro for where they are.
Yeah.
They have it, and it's
Yeah.
shot at night, so the one wheels are coming in, and the brake light and the front light are on, and you see 3 of 4 of them riding next to the stadium. It was
No
sweet.
way.
I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm just not a good friend or good for one wheel. I meant
I don't know
to do
how
it.
I missed that too.
It was epic.
That's like something that I would have seen.
Well, we did a segment for a while here where it was like one wheels in pop
the
culture.
wild, yeah.
And so people were dropping movies and cartoons that
Yeah.
they're referred to. So we have a whole episode on it, and people were saying, here it is. They were DMing me where they've seen what is like a prototype of a one wheel in like a cartoon kind of deal. It was really cool. And one of them was Monday Night Football. So
There's a lot of mascots that have one wheels.
yes.
Which I'm aware of. So I think Jackson DeVille, who's the Jacksonville Jaguars Jaguar,
Nice.
he's on one.
Nice.
I think Sourdough Sam, the Niners guy, is on one. I think Joey got Sharks guy on one. I know the 76ers mascot is on one quite a bit.
Really? That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
like an email
I'll
of that
send
or
you-
some post. If they would let
actually
you.
would be, that actually is a good idea. Yeah. No, we could totally do a post. The only thing is like, it's a bit of a gray area. Like we only post or promote things where people are wearing helmets.
Oh, yes.
And so these mascots, like, how much foam do you need to counteract the not wearing of a helmet? Or could they be wearing a helmet just under,
Yeah.
Good point.
Let's go with
the,
that one.
the
Well,
heads?
We did a thing.
I feel like it could be an exception.
It could
If
be.
you're wearing like this much foam.
There could be also speculations that, hey, they have a helmet underneath. We filmed
Yeah,
riding
right.
it as a moose once, and we put the helmet on the top of the moose's head. I mean, it would have done
There you
nothing
go.
for the individual
There
on the
you go.
inside, but we did have a helmet
Right.
on top.
You're
say he's wearing
checking the
helmet.
box.
Yeah, we were checking the box. We try to do, again, if you guys ever post whatever, it's like, oh, no, we know we got to have a helmet on. And so we picked that up early on from you guys because early on, we weren't riding with helmets. And then I can't remember if it was Ted dropped us a DM saying, hey, you guys put out okay stuff. We can't use it because you're not riding a helmet. It'd be awesome if you'd wear a helmet. I was like, I never thought about like the safety of my head. I'm just enjoying the one wheel.
Right.
And so Ted spoke on it, and then we started wearing them, and then we do these camps. Like 500-600 kids come to these camps every summer that we do, and where we're zipping around the fields on one wheels without helmets, and then we were like, oh crap, we've been showcasing this device that heaps of kids have been buying pints, but we're not telling them to wear helmets. So we changed our tune. Ted.
Like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago. Thanks to Ted.
I even
Thanks,
have a
Ted.
helmet, and I don't ride very often.
There you go.
Prepared.
There you
At
go.
least you're prepared.
Yeah. She's
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, you know, just like you're saying, when I started riding one wheels, it's not something you really, it doesn't immediately come to mind. You know, it doesn't immediately come to mind. You're just cruising around. I'm chilling. I'm going down the road, down this, you know, in the parking lot, whatever. But it's one of the things that I'm most proud of, really, is just like we've been so on it, on promoting wearing of helmets. And I think, like, you know, I grew up snowboarding, and I remember as a kid, no one was wearing helmets, you know, when I was going snowboarding in the, whatever it was, late 90s and 2000s. Nowadays, you go, everyone's wearing a helmet. So, like, that culture has really changed. And I feel like the one-wheeling culture has like, for the most part, embraced the helmet wearing, which I think is, it's important. You know, you can't have people getting head injuries. So, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, well, when you guys did because every year around February time seems the rhythm that you guys do helmet awareness week, and you guys always drop some creative videos, and it's been a privilege to be in some of those for us getting to shoot helmet videos. And then this year, I thought this year's was so great where you put the melon in the helmet and dropped it. That's so creative.
That was one of those ones where we were talking about this before we went on, where you have an idea and you're really not sure how it's going to turn out. And sometimes you do the concept and you realize this is not going to work at all. And other times you're like, that worked way better than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought, so the debate with that video was, I thought we would have to drop the melon helmet, you know, from like 2 feet above the ground for it to not break.
Yeah.
But we had our video editor was like, dude, you just got to drop it from head height, obviously.
Yeah.
That's don't like, you know, don't cheat it. And we're like, okay, well, it's gonna be a huge bummer if this breaks, because we're gonna have to clean up. I mean, you know, you'd have to clean everything up and do it all over again. But it worked great, and that's why helmets are good.
Yeah, right. It proved it. We have. Again, going off of that video, what we are collecting are different brand helmets at the moment, and we're going to do what you did, but we're going to test them to see which helmets they break in and don't, to give because not every helmet is created equal. Just because it's
true,
right? Like we've learned that with our kids, like there are just some brands that they might be cheaper. And it's like, oh, I feel good, I got a helmet on my kid, but it's not going to do anything. And so we've learned that, you get what you pay for. So the more you put into the helmet, the better helmet it is. And it can handle a little bit of drops out of the car occasionally, where some helmets, you drop it out of the car and the shell cracks. And so we thought, going from your idea is to test many brands, which we can do that, right? Like, that's not something One Wheel should do. You don't need to infringe in other brands, but we can do that and go, hey, here's the helmets. Because that S1 helmet, that was the first helmet I bought from you guys many years ago. Awesome helmet. And then we got all our kids S1 helmets. That's a good helmet. So we're going to do that in the make.
That'll be fun.
My question for you is, how do you guys come up with your ideas? Because you guys really, over the years, have cranked out some really creative ideas. And I guess I'll ask a second question to give you in that, and you can answer both of them. Some of them you can tell are shot with just like GoPros or just a Sony camera. Then you go and hire level up the camera business. Like recently you saw somebody in the back of the van with not your normal, just point and shoot camera. How do you decide which projects you're going to go for top of the line production and which ones are you going, no, GoPro's going to capture what we're doing here? So creative process, and then how do you determine the gear?
Wow, this is a great question. Really good question. I think everybody loves being creative, and I love that we have the ability to do that on our marketing team. No one's really telling us what to do, so we walk in every day and honestly just spitball, like, okay, what are we gonna do here? And sometimes ideas just come out of the blue, and other times, like you're referencing with the helmet awareness thing, we know that we're gonna do something. Okay, we need a week's worth of content for helmet awareness. Your first thought is like, oh, this is hard. How are we going to make wearing helmets seem cool and interesting?
Yeah.
It's like kind of a difficult prompt, right? It's like public safety, but I think like the more fun you have with it, the better it does. I got to give a ton of credit to Joey on the social media stuff. Joey's so sharp when it comes to what people actually want to see. On social media. And that's generally the stuff that we film, on the cell phone. We shoot a lot of stuff on our phones, on GoPros, on low tier camera setups.
Yep.
And then the higher end production stuff, a lot of the times that's when you're shooting like an ad that's going to run on YouTube or streaming services, stuff like that. But I really also want to keep pushing the production level on like edits. We did that dirt edit
that was so
episode
that was
2 years ago.
so good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and that was one of those projects where we got all the gear. We had cable cams.
Yeah.
Set up in the forest, zoom back and forth, following those guys. And I think to me, that's one of the things that I get really excited about is you watch these, or I remember these iconic, snowboard films or surf films when I was younger that were really aspirational, and I'd like to keep doing some more of that stuff with the wheel. I think that's important. So I'm plotting, scheming some of that as we speak. And then I think the other thing that I get really excited about too when it comes to shooting stuff is capturing stories. I want to hop back into being able to capture some stories. I know Adam and Kevin are about to go off and shoot a little piece on this family that has a ranch in Nevada. They are cowboys and girls. They popped onto our radar because we found this photo of this young woman lassoing a cow in the middle of this herd on a Onewheel. It's like the most ridiculous photo I've ever seen. I'll see if I can find it and send it your way. But yeah, just like I love how there's so many different Onewheel stories that are so broad and diverse. Not everyone is just like racing these things, or whatever. Like there's so many divergent. There's I'd love to go down to, I don't know if you know this guy Edge, but there's this music producer guy in Jamaica who's zooming around, and like I've talked to him before. So I just would love to, do some more features on people that just like are so unexpected. Because I think we have a tendency to like fall into the idea that we know how everyone is using this thing, and this is Onewheel when it's like it's so broad, you know, like
Yeah.
It's so broad.
It's a lot of things. Yeah.
What I do love
that gets me excited.
as you say, it's so broad. I think one of the cool things about a one wheel is that it brings the most unlikely people together. I always say it's like the Lord of the Rings. It's like the ring is what brought all these groups of people that never hang out with each other. But one wheel does that. Like a lot of the people I meet, I'm like, I would never bump into you. But because we have this thing we ride on, and we ride it differently, but we have something we can start a conversation with and go from there. It's just, so those stories that you talk about going and capturing, it's like, yeah, that's the story of one wheel. I do think, you know, a lot of times the Bodies of the world, it's like, oh my gosh, the ability to drop off that, or the Kyles out there that can ride crazy. They're the rock stars. That's reserved for like 1% of the riders. There's so much other things, like this girl riding a one wheel, like lasso a horse, or the guys that you guys always post, the guys that like, or women that are flying a plane and there's their one wheel strapped to the plane, so they, when they're on the tarmac, they can. I love seeing that. We watch it with our 8 kids around here. They have chores out here. We built a mile trail system out here, quoting Austin Silva. I like to quote the guy because he came out here and rode it. He said it's the best backyard one-wheel trail system he's rode, which I felt that was pretty good. Thank you to Austin for that. But we built this pretty epic course here, and the kids ride it and race it. But then we were like, hey, will you go water the trees? They got 2 5-gallon buckets hand in hand, and they're riding their one wheels across the yard to go water trees or to do their chores. They're always riding their one wheels. So it's this thing that is so much fun. It's transportation. It's a race thing. But then it's just an everyday thing that makes a chore that is a drag exciting, because I get to ride my one wheel. And that's pretty fun. I know you know that.
Yeah, like it's a tool. Yeah, like a utility thing. Yeah, and it is never ceases to amaze me how many different usages, or just like how it gets wrapped into different people's stories, you know, in different ways. Like it's really cool. It's super, super cool. So
it is. And I wonder, for Kyle, the creator, did he, you know, he's creating this thing that is like so another planet kind of type of thing when it was dropping. And did he have the forethought to go, this is going to rescue people from addictions. It's going to help fix marriages. It's going to help fix friendships. It's going to be a release, right?
Yeah.
Like, or was he just?
I don't think so. I don't think we could have known that then. I don't think we could have known that then. I think we knew that it could be really, really fun and bring a lot of joy, but like that, there's another mental leap after like, oh, this thing's super fun and like people are gonna love it. There's another tier to like the net effect on lives. I suppose. I was talking to him like back in kind of the beginning of the CPSC saga, and and I was asking him what was my question to him. I was like, just ask him how he's doing, and like what I was like, yeah, you know, if they just shut One Wheel down, like what would you think or do, or like, you know, like what, you know, like personally, like and he said that he was talking to his wife about that, and that she said, you know, you just have to be so like appreciative and just like happy knowing that this has affected so many people's lives in a positive way. Like even if this all just gets ended tomorrow, like just think about all of the good times that this is created for so many people. It's like overwhelming. It's overwhelming, you know. It's like overwhelming because I can just think of all the epic moments that I've had on wheel, and you all, you know, can conjure up moments that that was so fun when we were whatever. Or I met those people, you know, whatever it is. It's just it's pretty cool to think about. the sum total of all those things that just wouldn't have happened without it. So I thought that was a good answer from Kyle's wife. She's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, because it quantifies it. Because it's hard to quantify a dream, right? Like, because you're just busy getting after the dream. Like, I assume, Kyle, it was like, I'm just making, and you don't look up very often to look around and go, wow, this has got an impact, but way beyond just somebody buying a device. It's like, as I've just heard people's stories with it, just there. It's rescued them from so many things, or the adventures. I mean, I know for us, we raced the Great Lakes in 24 hours on them. So we took our Onewheels from here, went to Niagara Falls, and we filmed. We put a goal. In 24 hours, we have to ride our Onewheel next to every Great Lake in 24 hours. And so you have us in a, so we're all crammed into an RV. We filmed it all. It was so much fun. But the Onewheel is what sparked the idea. It's like, oh, could we do this? Could you keep them charged long enough? How's this? And then you film it all, and we talk about that as some of our most fun memories of those things, going across from New York to back to Minnesota, hitting every Great Lake in 24 hours, no sleep at all. But it was tremendous.
Dang, that's a long way.
It is. It's
I've never been out there.
You've never been out east?
Well, he's been to New York,
but east, but I've never been to. I've never been to Niagara Falls or
like the upper
Midwest
Peninsula.
is a whole. Yeah, never been.
Oh, have you been to Minnesota?
So, got it. I have been to Minnesota super fast. Couple days. We were actually meeting with Best Buy. This is years and years ago.
When Onewheels were sold in Best Buy.
But for a split second. But let's see. My memories from Minnesota. I have a few. One, it was like springtime and everyone was biking everywhere.
Yeah.
So I know Minnesota's big
the minute
bike
it
place.
hits 40 degrees in Minnesota, everyone's out, their white legs and all.
Totally.
It's like, I'm thawing.
Yep, that's
biking
true.
everywhere. And then I had a Juicy Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Do you remember where you went?
Because there's two.
I if you said
One of
both
the two.
names, I'd probably remember.
5-8 Club or Matt's Bar?
I
And
don't
you just have
actually
to come
remember
back.
One was much more of a dive.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like, this is a genuine invite, and I think we could probably come up with some video content you could film out here.
For sure.
But this is a genuine invite. Come back to Minnesota. You can, if you're comfortable staying here, you can stay here. We'll put you up in a hotel. Bring a couple people with you. Lily's getting married and riding away on her Onewheel in like 9 weeks.
That's right.
Yeah, real quick.
June
30th.
Yeah, I'm doing the wedding.
June 30th.
I'll be officiating it. So it'll be
amazing.
Yay.
It will be hilarious, I'm sure.
Amazing.
I'm trying to get, I'm not trying to, I plan to order. I just got a GT like in December. It's the best thing ever. Thank you so much for creating that.
That's right.
I'm literally obsessed. I'm going to get a white fender, white rails, white bumper so we can like really do it up. You know,
we'd be happy to set you up with that.
Oh, well, thank you. That's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
As we talk about things, we're not expecting you to go, note, I need to send nothing.
Well, like, I'm trying to go all out. Like, I'm saying I'm willing to pay for it, but I'm trying to go all out on this. And I got shoes already. I'm doing a shoe change because obviously I have to wear heels. Yeah, my fiance rides.
And it's outside, so we're trying to figure out how to get the videographers and stuff. It'd be great if it was like lasers, but riding Onewheels around the entire time, filming and taking pictures. So that's what
he's helped with lots
of
ideas.
People.
So we're working on it. Some people in the podcast have said, hey, we might help. So we're really trying to make Onewheels a part of it and then do a group ride from where she's getting married to where they're going to go to a reception and stuff. There's about a mile ride. And so it's purposely set.
It's literally in the trail system that we pretty much ride the most here in Minnesota. We film and ride. So it's all very intentional.
This is, I mean, Onewheel weddings like are a thing now.
It's becoming a thing.
Totally.
You guys posted one a couple weeks ago.
They're a little thing now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Joey and Adam got invited to one in Florida. at the beginning of the year. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
Yep,
we did.
yep.
We were quite
That's how we got
bummed,
the
to be
idea.
honest. We were bummed
Yes.
because we thought that Lily would be the first, and then we saw that, we're
Right.
like, dang it, now we're second place.
Sorry.
No,
okay.
Sorry about
no,
that.
it's all
But we've
good.
gotten so now, because like the end of their TikTok, I think Joey put our mailing lists if other people want
Now you
us
get
to
invites
go
all
to
the
their
time.
weddings. But now we have like we've gotten like 9 invites now, and
I
obviously
bet.
we can't just
Oh, for sure.
convert our whole schedule into
Yeah,
just
yeah.
weddings.
To weddings.
It'd be a great gig. But yeah, it's pretty epic that people even would consider having us involved in their special day, and
but I
really
think-
would be stoked to help with some white accessories. I mean, that's
Thank you.
so easy to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty
either way,
of
I'm
like
doing
if
it.
people really get like the brand, the company of Onewheel, and you look past the logos and go, no. There's human beings there that are genuine humans that are not out to make our lives as one-wheelers awful. Like the right to repair stuff. They make like you guys
All
are
we
villains
wanna
in some
do-
way. And it's
All
like
we want to do is make everyone's life a living one-wheel nightmare.
I mean, that's the vibe you get, right? And it's like, I just wish some people would just
We
pause
know
and go,
better.
yeah, there's some legal things inside
Yeah.
there. And I think some people woke up
Yeah.
when the CPSC stuff come and going, oh, wait, they can't just do free for all. Like everybody just do whatever you want on your one wheel because then you get shut down on these things. And but it's like,
Yeah.
what I hope people are capturing today is the genuineness of you, that you're in Kyle, that there's not some like control freak stuff going over there. Like, no, it'd only be this way I designed it. It's like, no, you're trying to keep people inside
is.
safe.
It is, like I don't read, I don't go too deep into the conspiracy theory, world. Like I don't.
Good for you.
I feel like, what I love is like when we go do events or we go to races or whatever. Like I know all these people, like all the people that go to all the one wheel events. I love them all. They're all awesome. Like they know us. We're all friends. When we go do demo events in the world and you're just meeting normal people, like everyone is so awesome. I actually think it's a little bit of a symptom of just where we are as a society in 2022 and 2023, where you get these sort of like internet echo chamber,
Yes.
bubbles basically. Like, and it's true in many different areas, obviously, like in politics and whatever, where there's just a huge juxtaposition between like that energy and then the energy that actually exists in the
that
real
you
world.
see in real life.
Big time. If you just read these, like, the FFM stuff, like, you're led to, like you're saying, Scott, like led to believe that, all we're trying to do is like milk $1 out of, every owner and like make their lives a living hell, and our like shady business practices are like, it's so insane. And then you go meet, like, we were at an event this last weekend called Sea Otter. It's like one of the biggest mountain biking events out in Monterey. And I met like 15 one-wheel owners, which was so rad. And all of them are so cool. And they're all so stoked to come say hi.
Nice.
And, we had the best time. So I just think it's like an interesting societal thing to reflect on, just in general, past one wheel.
Yeah.
Not to go so deep here, but like, we're in Santa Cruz, California. It's like one of the most liberal places, that exists. And I remember thinking this when we did something called Most Boring Town in America.
Yeah, that
went
was
out
so
to-
great.
Good.
We went out to the middle of Missouri,
Yeah.
to a little town out there. And I'm sure it's a really conservative place, And these people were the nicest people in the entire world.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. They were so awesome. And we were all homies immediately, and just like like such a real and authentic and awesome connection. And just to think that like if you just invest in the narrative of like American polarity that is like on these Fox and CNN and whatever, like you're led to believe that like we don't have anything in common, and then you connect in the real world and you're like, we have so much more in common than we have apart, and I'm just talking I'm talking politics here, but I don't know.
You're talking about society.
Like
that's what it is. Like, I think people say it's
society.
politics, but it's just where we are as a society. It's like
Totally. It's like
the pendulum's either all the way to the left or right, and you can't be in the middle and just go, hey, you're a human. I'm cool with you. Even though we disagree on so many things, I'm cool with you. And I wish that's the way it was.
Totally. So I think the reality is always much closer to we have more in common than we have apart across all, sort of spectrums. But I don't know. I just think that's an interesting. I've meditated on that a little bit, because you read some of these things and you're like, gosh, like this is so, so far from reality. How did we get here?
How did we get here? Yeah.
Well, and if we would start there of we have more in common than we have apart, we would just automatically have a different perspective just immediately meeting somebody. But we tend to not. We tend to go the other way.
When we were talking to Laser, we kind of got on the same topic as well, and we just around here to keep ourselves from falling into that pendulum swing of my right's right and yours is wrong. We always just keep going, and people call me a hippie for saying. I'm like, what does love require you to do? Like, how should I show love to the individual that I disagree with or the person I get along with? Always answer the question. If you answer it truthful, you're going to do the kind thing. You're going to do the thing that every human would want to have done to them.
Filter.
It's a filter, so I don't buy into the things that are being pumped out in culture, because it just it feels like there's some kind of agenda. I don't know what it is, but it's like, wait, that's not loving. And it's like, what does love require me to do? Like here in Minneapolis, we were in 2020. We were the ground zero for a lot of the racism and stuff. And it was like, well, how do I love on everybody, and how do I make sure that we had to sit here in the office and ask that question? What do we, how do we answer that question? And then what do you do? Because love is not just a bunch of words. There's actions behind it. And so I know it sounds so hippie, right? Oh, just love, peace.
I love that.
But
I think that's...
It is. What does love
I think
require?
that's super important.
It's just an easy filter.
Super important. And at the end of the day, like, whether, whatever it is that is contentious, like I always appreciate and love how, whether you're, it's funny, like we'll go to these events and people will have their board and they'll have some mod on it, and it's like they're like worried that I'm gonna, like bark at them or something. Like, I don't care at all what you do with your one wheel. Like, that's like, heck yeah, you love this thing enough where you like wanna, customize it and like, invent your own thing or whatever. Like, that's awesome. Like, I think it's amazing that there's so much passion for the thing that people even want to put the time in to do any of these things. Like, I think, it's a little interesting. I the expectation that I think people have around like what I think about, the mods or whatever it is, like, it's so not like that.
So as I just glanced down at the comments, people have asked him, what does he think about?
How do you feel about third
party stuff? And that's been a huge question.
Well,
for
that's
people.
basically.
People are like, Lily asked for custom shaping for your wedding gift. Like,
that is a good one. I'm asking for custom shaping too. I'm asking. Good
answer, Jack. Good answer.
Yeah, but here,
so just on the custom, I mean, it's a good question. So I'll
and you answered it in your podcast last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Basically, it's like, the CPSC stuff has been going on for a long time, longer than people realize, like longer than it became sort of like public information. And if you want to learn more, Kyle and I did a podcast that really like a very candid podcast on the CPSC thing. Yeah, I think it was super important, you know.
It was awesome.
Just to sort of like lay that all out there. But it's really, you know, in some ways it's I know it's frustrating for everybody because it's like this should exist already, you know. It's frustrating for us as well because it takes so much like this regulatory I don't know what to call it. Like it takes so much time and energy and bandwidth away from all of the things that you know, I would say are more important. You know, it's just been a major hurdle, I guess, in the last several months. So, you know, bear with us, and I'm hoping for custom shaping for your wedding too. You know, unfortunately, like I don't know how to do that stuff, you know. So I love that comment when like the video team is off doing some dumb, you know, adventure or whatever, and we post it online, and the comments are like, why don't you guys go make me my custom shaping instead of goofing around? It's like, you don't want my custom shaping. I'll tell you that much right now. But
because you guys have a team out there, right, doing stuff, and they're doing what they're skilled at, and you're doing what you're skilled at, and while you're doing what you're skilled at, the other part is it's like I just don't understand why there's that disconnect for so many people where they don't get that. It's like, hey, this is the marketing team. You don't want them building your Onewheel like when they were wanting GTs, right? Well, stop making this.
I can barely, it's funny. Yeah, I can barely, like, we were doing a photo shoot in Arizona maybe a month ago, and Kyle Hansen and Allie and Sam Lara were all out there, and I was like doing a bumper change to put some clean bumpers on, and Kyle Hansen's just like watching me do it, and I'm like picking up the wrong screw and like looking at it, so and then like picking up the littler screw, and I'm like, which one goes where? I'm the least technical person in the entire world. I can't change my oil. Kyle was like, have you done that before? Yeah. But yeah, I am useless when it comes to anything technical, 100%. So,
but your skill set. Your skill set in the marketing side and what you went to school, you're killing the game, right? And it's like, I try to tell people all the time, do what you're great at. That. Don't try to do what somebody else is doing. Be you.
Yeah, and I would never.
I mean,
totally.
Again, we're fans of Onewheel. I don't think people always ask if we work for you guys, and it's like, nope, we're just fans. We love watching what you guys develop as a product, but then how you get the stories out there and how you get the message about what you're trying to do. If that is with a recall, or if that's with like you got a new hoodie on today, right? I'm sure at some point that hoodie's going to be available for people, and you're going to have a story around it. And I can't wait to see how you market that, because I know what it took. It took an idea in a room that everybody sat around and goes, hey, here's the idea. How do we do this creatively? Now how are we going to pull it off? Okay, now how are we going to make adjustments along the way to be what we want it to be? Now how do we get it to everybody? And it's as a fan of being creative, I love the process. Now, a lot of people just want stuff in their hands, but I love what you guys do in your marketing team, from the dog calendar to destroy boredom to the most boring city ever to the LA pop-up shop. Those are 4 that like just come to mind without even thinking. But that's your team coming up with and then executing, and it was so cool to see so many people gravitate to those things. So your team's killing it. Tip of the spear on some of the marketing out there. I think.
Thank you. I mean, I'm pretty self critical. Like I always feel like there's way more that we could be doing, should be doing, but I think that's important. To always always. Be focused on what we could do more. Like I said earlier, like I want to make more sort of like films, whether that's about personalities or about sort of more edits that sort of push the progression of the sport. I want to figure out more events. I'd love to do something that Kyle's been banging the drum for a while on, is like an urban race. So like a race to the rail that happens in a city. There's so many complications around that. Like do you have to like permit city streets? It's just but I think
there's
a lot.
Race at night.
But I think at that,
That'd be cool.
I hear that, and because I race street races in marathons and stuff, there's already a format set
There's
for you.
There's something set up for that.
That you go find a 5K race that's been done for your first time, and just follow what they did with the permits they did, and all of a sudden you have your race. Right. I know, like here in Minneapolis, there's so many 5K races downtown that with epic views along the Mississippi that you could easily fly a drone sideways on the race and get a big urban thing. I think, but again, that's me. That's my world. Yeah, it's doable. It's doable. It's doable, but there's permits.
Can be expensive.
It can.
Yeah.
Renting city streets is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But I think that's like ultimately, I mean, how I see my job or our job is like, this is how Kyle put it. In the beginning, we had to tell all the stories. Like there was no existing riders, or there was nothing that existed to build off of. So we had to build those foundational things. Now all the stories exist.
Yeah.
To an extent, people are doing all kinds of cool stuff everywhere. The progression is happening. Riders are pushing it to higher levels. So now our job is really to showcase that stuff. Because we're uniquely positioned to do that, right? Like something like Race to the Rail costs an insane amount of money, and so no one, is like, that's we have to do that. We have to bring one-wheeling and the characters and the stars and the people and bring it to the world. That's basically
your ambassadors.
What we gotta do. Yeah.
You
No, I think the ambassadors exist. Like I think
you're raising those though.
The Kyle Hansons of the world are those people. Yeah. And so what we have to do is kind of like provide them the stage.
Yep. Give them a platform.
Provide them the stage. Whether it's something like Race to the Rail or, some new urban thing, or shooting some insane film that, has all the latest camera gear that costs, thousands of dollars. Like that's what I get really excited about, because it's all really, it's fun and it's cool and it's and it's exciting because you're always moving into like new territory. You have to be, otherwise you're not really doing it that well. And that's where I feel like we could do so much more, and we need to do so much more. And so that's what keeps me motivated and hungry after 10 years of one-wheeling.
Yeah, I love hearing that, because there's very rare people that stay at one place longer than 5 years because they don't keep pushing progression. And again, I think you guys are in a sport world that is about progression. You do got to keep progressing it. Last week we had Allie and Kyle Hansen on here, and it's such a good time to talk with them. But we were talking how fun it would be. I've been to the Amazon jungle 7 times, like out in the middle of the jungle, like no technology. And we were talking last week, it would be sweet to go back. We came up with it last week, but to fly down there and show them in one of these tribes a one-wheel. Like they were blown away. They were blown away. What we usually take to them are tennis balls, and they are blown away with a tennis ball because it'll bounce on everything, right? It floats in the water for them, and so we just bring them tennis balls, and they are just loving life. But how awesome would it be?
No way.
Set up like a one-wheel
You couldn't leave a one-wheel for them, I don't think, because how they keep it charged and stuff. But introducing them and letting them ride it, I thought, how awesome of a video would that be to capture that? Just the cinematic going down, like the boats down the Amazon with the one wheel. You're in a boat that's like just literally a tree cut in half and hollowed out just a little bit, going down or up the Amazon. It's a wild ride. But how fun would that be? But again, to what you're saying, you're telling a story.
That's amazing.
So
That's amazing. I can't believe you've been down there 7 times.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just to help the people, like, been there to build a few things here and there, make sure they have what they need. They don't have electricity or anything. It's wild.
Build shelters.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I was walking down one day I was walking down the little path, and they all stop and kind of get around a tree, and I'm just this gringo just standing like, what's going on? And you can see these leaves are ruffling, and all of a sudden these red monkeys come flying through. One of them runs up my leg and sits and grabs my ears. I got a picture of its head just right here, a wild monkey, and I'm like, what do I do? Like, if this thing bites me, is this the Outbreaker? Like the movie Outbreak? But it was pretty cool. Pretty wild experience, but I thought it'd be pretty cool to take Onewheel down there next time.
Dang.
And film it. So if we do it,
that would be amazing.
It would be cool. Take you guys down as well. Think about that. That'd be so backwards to what of a kind of video to the cities and stuff, but you could come in and do so much fun for them, like coming in there and bringing them what they need, and then going, hey, you want to ride a piece of technology they wouldn't even understand.
That'd be awesome.
So, that's amazing.
Ponder it.
Kudos to you for doing that, Scott. That's awesome.
Well, you can, but if you guys want to run with a story like that, it's all yours. I don't need to be a part of it, but I might beat you to it. I don't know, or we.
You should. You should do it.
We at some point we'll probably do it. Okay, we're gonna transition.
How to get a board down there?
Yeah, I know that was a tough bit. I can get it to Aikido's. I think pretty easy. That's the biggest jungle city. I think I can get it there, and then get it. Well, the problem would be is if you kill it, the battery.
Can't charge it.
Don't have a way to charge it necessarily, so it's like you only have a short amount of time to do what you want to do with that thing.
Got generators.
You need a good solar charger.
Yeah.
That's
we're gonna put that. I think we're gonna make this happen. I think it'd just be a cool, just fun story to tell. So.
Be awesome.
We're gonna figure it out. But hey, we do a game here. We're gonna transition to hard left on you, Jack. Before we say goodbye with you in the next couple of minutes, we do Would You Ride That? Okay, you've talked about you love sports, you love snowboarding, and so what we've done is we've captured a few videos that have been dropped out there in the world, and we just say, would you ride that? Okay, so it's a way for people to get to know everybody here and you. It's simply you're going to watch it, and then you answer the question, would you ride that? Okay, we have 5 clips. They're like 10 seconds long, and you're just going to watch them along with us, and then the question is, would you ride that? Okay, so here's the first one.
Wait,
gotcha.
What?
We have a jingle.
Oh, you want the jingle.
We have a jingle.
Jack doesn't want the
jingle.
Gotta play
You can't.
jingle.
You're not even playing
But it's
it,
not
Jack.
even playing,
It's
Jack.
live.
It's awful.
It goes live.
It's live in
The
action.
production value is going down.
Okay, we need full screen on Holly.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, Jack.
Rolling. We need.
Full
Are we
screen.
doing full screen?
They would like Jack not in the shot.
Sorry, Jack. You're excused.
Would you?
Would you? Could ya? Ride that.
Unbelievable. Jack, was that worth the wait? You're encouraging that.
Jack, you're the best.
Love it, ladies.
Now
Love
we can
that.
play. Now we can play.
Okay,
Let's
here's your
check out
first
the first
clip.
one.
Here's your first clip, Jack. Would you ride that? You talked about snowboarding, brought to you by Burton. He unclips or she unclips from the bindings and then rides it like a hang 10 on a surfboard. Would you do that going down a mountain, Jack?
I saw this clip maybe yesterday.
Yeah.
Super impressive. I would do that. Could I do that? Probably not. Probably not good enough. First of all, I don't have the step-in bindings,
Yes.
So I don't know what those are like. But that's pretty impressive to go toes on the nose like that. I was very impressed by that. So would I? Yes. Could I? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. It wouldn't look like that. My first attempt I'd eat snow.
Wouldn't look at that.
No, and I'm with you. I have a couple of Burton snowboards, but my bindings are the old school where you clip in.
Yeah, you got to take a whole lot.
I would die. I'd hit toe side and I would just eat it. How about you, Lil? Would you do it?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
How?
I'll film it next to you.
Okay.
I could not do that.
You can't even snowboard.
I have only tried once in my life.
It was painful for both of us.
Well, I was the wrong way. You told me to go the wrong direction. We didn't know.
It's my fault.
I would try it. I would try to snowboard again.
Okay, here's the next one. Would you ride this, Jack? Would you ride this? Another short clip from, I'm not sure who. Oh, here you go. I believe this is Kyle riding this? Would you
Wow.
ride your one wheel off of
Oh, that
that?
made my stomach
Absolutely
turn.
not. I'm not
Would you
even
drop
wait.
that? I guess we should ask. On your
I
one
would
wheel.
do it, but the flight fins make it cheating.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I
He
kid you.
said, "I'm kidding. I'm kidding." That was funny.
Wait, Jack. Can you use the word flight fins? That's what somebody's gonna say. Can he even say flight fins?
Did I say?
kidding.
Well-
Oh no.
Yeah.
Someone asked
Where's the bleep
before-
machine?
Yeah.
Someone asked before what third-party accessories you had on your board.
That was a real
So
question.
funny. I love this. I get asked that all the time. When we go
I
to
bet
I'm
you do.
sure.
So, like, no, but like when people like aren't watching, like
Yeah, what do you ride?
Right. It's so funny. You know what? There's just like different kinds of people that are in the world, you know? And like it's the same with cars, right? You have people that all they want to do is like put a spoiler on and change their rims, and like that's what they love. And that's obviously there's a big part of the one wheel community that's like that is what they love to do is to, you know, modify their one wheels and whatever. Me, I am, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not technical. I'm one of those people that like I want to turn it on and I want it to go.
Just go.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like I'm so, you know, so what the board that I ride is like the closest board to me in the office.
Yeah.
Could be a Pint X, could be a Pint, could be a GT, could be an original, could be an XR. Like whatever's
whatever you
around
grab.
me is what I'm riding.
Love it.
Yeah.
So so the honest answer is I don't have any you know third party accessories that are like my must have thing on my board or anything like that.
Yeah, I laugh
so-
at people asking that question to you because, again, they're not following a one wheel very closely because you guys have collabed with like Flow Life in a couple of videos, which have been great videos. I think you did a picnic run with them a year ago or so. And it's like,
Sure.
if people would follow closely, their answers would be answered instead of speculating
Yeah.
that everyone's at odds with each other. And obviously,
Well, it's funny because like I'm great friends with Bodie. I've known Bodie since he was like 14 years old, maybe.
oh, wow.
You know, I'm friends. I know Jeff well. I know Michael well, who's does the fins. Like, you know, it's not like we show up to the same event. It's like
Beefing.
we're
no
like hold me back.
Yeah, why?
Again,
Because
it's like we're all doing this all in the same doing
I
this
love
all.
it.
Yes.
For sure.
All
because of one
together.
wheel.
Okay, we got another Would You Ride That. Okay, you won't drop off that, and you won't do, maybe we'll find one you'll do. How about this one brought to you by, there you go.
Oh my goodness! What?
Absolutely
Are you kidding
not.
me?
Are you kidding?
No way.
Wait a minute. Wait a
No
minute. Is he?
way.
What's going on in this?
Oh my
Okay, there it is.
That's so cool.
That
is
is
that a hot
awesome.
air balloon?
Hot air balloon with a mountain bike or a dirt
A-
bike or whatever. Bike
A ramp.
ramp in there. A bowl, in a sense.
Oh, you got
That
to be
poor
Insane.
man's mom.
That poor man.
I don't know if I'm saying that wrong, but wow. His poor mother.
I don't know. They
yeah.
got rails
So
up
right now
pretty high.
my order is I would do the snow thing first, and then I would do the drop, and then I would do the hot air balloon.
Yeah.
So that's the
Agree.
order. That's the three.
Agree.
No, the
There's a
saving,
whole lot of that's a nope.
the saving grace in that one is that the individual has a
He's
parachute
got a
on.
parachute on.
But you got a bike strapped around to your feet. I mean, just a lot can go wrong
There's
there.
also another bike strapped up there just in case the bike
Goes over. Like,
we could keep going.
I was thinking about that. Could you imagine if the bike, like, he let go of it and it goes over the side? What does that do to a farmer down below? Like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Where'd this bike
That's
come
the
from?
crops
Yeah.
gone.
I have a lot of
That's
questions.
why you got to wear helmets
Yeah, that's why you got to wear a helmet all the time. Farming, helmet.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Whatever you do.
Whatever you do.
helmet.
Okay, we got one last one for you, Jack. Would you ride this right here? So far, we've got your order.
What? That looks awesome.
Oh,
Wow, he's.
I'm 100%. I'm just gonna say I'm 100% in this one.
That
Oh no.
Looks like
nope.
a blast.
No,
Wow.
not doing it.
I'm 100%.
I
No way.
think I would get hurt. I think I'd get hurt doing it, but it seems closer. Like it seems plausible. I probably all for the sake of the podcast, I'll say I'll do it, but realistically, I'm probably
For the
chicken
sake
out,
of the podcast.
if I'm just
Well,
being
because
honest.
tomorrow we're gonna show up at your office with a kayak and we're gonna
Yeah.
go find one of
Gonna
those
go find
around.
some
Ready to
white
go.
water rapids.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, we're like, you said you'd do it.
Said you'd do it.
He'd be like,
No,
okay.
That guy,
know.
if you watch it, he knew exactly
Now
what
that
he
one
was doing.
stressed me out.
That
So
one,
I
I
think
all of them, I'd
snowboard-
do it.
I
Okay,
think
let's see.
snowboard first. Then I think I feel like I would get less hurt maybe doing the drop than the kayak.
What?
But those are
No way.
those are in the same sort of bucket to me. You know,
No.
The drop in the
They're in the same.
kayak?
I can't even. No.
the Kyle's drop.
Yeah.
The kayak. I mean, maybe the kayak's easier.
I feel
Okay.
like
No.
So we'll go
I
snowboard,
don't think
kayak, drop, and then air balloon.
I
I'm
agree.
not trying to diminish what the kayaker did. I don't know the individual, so if they happen to be watching this, which would be
I
great.
think we're diminishing.
I'm saying I feel like I don't have as much. Have to have as much skill to do that. It's at the mercy of just
Yeah.
I'm falling in, hit it, and go.
And-
I could be very
Yeah.
wrong on that. But with
But like he gets air. He gets
Yeah.
Gets a lot of it.
He gets air,
is
and then he has to
he's, like,
control
launching.
himself back into
Well,
the
if you
rapids.
watch, he like keeps his
That's a
like he
lot of
leans
talent.
way back, and you can see the front end come up, and like he knew what he was counteracting his body
Yeah.
with, so that he'd bring his nose back down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happens if you just kind of too much weight back and then
You're
you-
gone.
we
You're
had a
right
helmet
under
on,
the
guys. He's
rapids.
okay.
He had a helmet on,
He had a
he's
helmet
okay.
on. He's okay.
I don't like getting sucked underwater.
Water. I will add this. Water is terrifying.
Water's a whole other
power-
element. Yeah, completely
Like
agree.
you could drown. You could
Completely
definitely
agree.
drown.
You get sucked
can?
under those rapids.
Wait, what?
You get sucked under those rapids, and then some
You can
big
drown in
animals
water.
take
Versus the drop.
you.
The drop.
The drop. Like
I don't know, man. I feel like
I don't know.
pavement hurts more. I feel like I could break my. I don't know.
Yeah, but you
like
could put on a
anything
lot
that
of
Kyle
padding.
does on a one wheel outside of keeping it flat on the ground, I'm just going. I don't know, dude. Same with Allie. Those two are another level. Like they got skills, and I love them. They are awesome.
Yeah, they're
but I'm just
awesome.
like whatever you're doing, I cannot do.
Yeah, just gonna automatically assume.
Yeah.
that's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My trick, my bag of tricks on a one wheel is the hard stop. That's it.
It's a good bag. That's a good bag.
No, it's not. Like I would like to do. You guys
You got
posted.
a 180. You got a 180. Just a little revert.
Yeah, I can do that. Like, but
Not
I-
on command.
no, I
But-
can.
but
I,
maybe.
You have to
Okay,
set yourself up
it's a
for
little
it.
bit wider than the hard stop, but it's like
Yeah.
I feel like no. Like I watched it,
Yeah.
I love it. My kids are all doing it. You know, Jack, I'm 45 years old, and so you know, I'm not old, but it's just like I don't know. I'm not bouncing back like my little Groms over here. They're little rubber bands.
But that's the goal.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah, that's why water's better. Okay, Jack, let's ask a few personal questions before we land the plane.
Shoot.
Single or taken? Meaning your marital status.
My
Are you
relationship status.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am taken.
Okay.
I'm taken. Yeah.
'Kay.
Got
'Kay.
a girlfriend. So
Love it.
Wonderful. Are you a cat or dog person?
probably dog, but I've owned a cat who I loved with my whole heart as well.
Aw.
So I'm a both. I'm a both.
So,
Both
Well
and.
done.
Oh,
Well done.
so you like
Animal.
animals?
Yeah, I love animals.
Currently, no
They're the
animals.
best. My mom has a dog named Arlo who I get to see about once a week, which is kind of ideal. I don't have to take care of it, but like when she takes
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
I'll take him for the weekend or whatever. So
Yeah, rent a pet.
Rent a pet. Yeah,
That's beautiful. That is great. I can't-
half sheepdog, half poodle. I
wow.
feel like that's like
Perfect.
everything's a half poodle in this day and age.
Yes.
At least around here.
Yep.
Another interesting thing, but it doesn't shed. Friendly,
Nice.
so
Okay. Drink of choice between 9 to 5.
drink of choice between 9 to 5. I do drink coffee.
Yep.
I'm always drinking water, but
Okay.
then I do. How did you know that I do like kombucha? How did you know that? That was in your intro. You just know.
No,
just
you
know
did.
these things.
I assumed a lot, but I
Yeah.
think it was when you guys did the most boring city in America. When you went to the supermarket, you did a thing on the kombucha.
Yeah, I
It
do
was in
like
your cart.
kombucha. It depends on the brand. I will say this. It
I
depends on the brand.
100%
If you had a bad
agree.
experience with kombucha, it may just be because you had a bad one. Because I do not like them all.
Nope.
There's some that are way better than others. So
100% agree with
bear
that.
that in mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then from 5 o'clock to whatever time, like an adult beverage, what is your choice?
2 a.m. I like a wide range of adult beverages. I like beer. I like liquors of various types, and I like wine. If I'm drinking beer, I will tell you this. I went to school in Oregon, and that's like when this was 10 years ago. This is like when the craft beer industry was booming there. And Oregon was always a little ahead of California too. I IPA'd enough back then to where now, like, everything here is this like triple IPA, skunky, hazy, citrus, whatever. I hate that stuff. I do not like it. I don't want my beer to taste like an orange juice.
Yeah.
No, I'm out on that. So I've actually like gone back to, and this is like a little bit of like maybe Ted had some influence here, but like just a Coors Light at the end of the day.
That is totally Ted. I love that guy.
Is like we were hanging out this last weekend. It was great to see him. But like a Coors Light, and now I've actually discovered that Miller High Life in the glass in the glass bottle.
Yeah.
Is phenomenal. So now, like, I also like beers that have, some flavor. I like maltier beers. So I like red ales. I like ambers much more than I like the super hoppy beers. But then, I also like whiskey. I like tequila. I like mezcal. And then, I like wines as well that are good.
Yeah.
So.
And they all serve an occasion.
Yeah,
like they're all of those.
Yeah, totally.
It makes complete sense.
Totally.
I do you remember when Onewheel dropped the beer? You guys collabed with somebody. Yeah,
we did. Yeah, the brewery's like right down the street. Now I got to be honest, like that brewery does tons of like these hazy IPAs, which is just not my style. So I know a lot of people love that beer.
Yeah,
I was not really one of them.
Well, when you said you didn't like the citrusy, orangey kind of thing, that's what that beer tastes like. We had to do a lot of work to get that to Minnesota. I just that's not your issue. That was just the company you're with wouldn't ship it here. I can't tell you how I did it because it probably was frowned upon how we got it to Minnesota, but we did get it to sample it. And
in theory, if you did get it to Minnesota, anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. We can't confirm or deny that.
Nope.
No.
But that was I thought that was again that's part of the marketing that you guys do so well with that makes it interesting and good videos and stuff. So, Jack, I could talk with you all day.
I have one more question.
Oh, Holly, my wife has.
Shoot.
Okay. For real, what third-party accessory do you like the best?
Oh my gosh, get out of here!
I'm totally kidding.
You know what? Let's see. Let me give that a good think. I think that
just teasing. I'm just teasing.
Well, I think
I live with her, Jack. Okay, I'm just saying.
There's these little bonk blocks.
Yeah, I have one right here. Electric Stoke.
Those things are awesome. Yeah. I love those.
This.
I mean, I like what a lot of people are doing. I think if we're all honest, like there's some really good third-party accessories, and then there's some, that I think are. I look at some people's boards. I'm like, oh God, I can't lie. You totally messed your board up.
I'll agree with that.
But it's the same with cars.
Yes.
Yeah. People get stuff done to their car, and it looks bitchin', and then there's sometimes you see a car and you're like, oof, like
you just
that's straight up ugly. Yeah,
you just did that to your Porsche, like
yeah.
Doing?
There's been plenty of third-party software. I keep saying, but stuff sent to us that we don't even do a thing with because it's like,
sure.
What is this? Like it doesn't
How does this actually enhance my ride?
But where we kind of always get to on all things people create, hey, people creating stuff, I can celebrate that people are creating it, and it's awesome for them. Whatever they're into, this serves a purpose. But for me,
totally,
it doesn't make sense. So for me to create some video about it is like, no, I can't get behind that.
And I love what you said earlier of just that. To watch people be passionate about a product that you are a huge part of is super awesome. It's fun to see them take creativity in their own way, and
right?
So that's
totally.
cool. You said that earlier.
At least people care.
Yeah,
at least people care. I mean,
you don't try to squash it. You don't try to.
It would be such a bummer to be dedicating my life to this thing. We're just like, everyone's completely apathetic. I don't care at all. Like at least sure. People care so much that they're putting their own lives, into making it more, how they want it more. So I think that's awesome.
I think the Onewheel is like the Harley Davidson. Like, I know a guy on a Harley can be like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. This is a Onewheel, not a Harley. But like what people do to a Harley, they customize it to their liking, and that's what I see with people with Onewheel. How much people identify as I'm a Harley rider, I am a one-wheeler. Like that's how when sentences start with I am, and it follows by what they do, that product has got a big life impact, and so people call I am a one-wheeler.
Totally. I mean, so how many one-wheel Instagram handles are there? Float. Float guy 74, like, so it's a major identity thing.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And some of the, like, I showed this to Laser. Remember when you guys made this eraser? Gripboard
oh my gosh,
eraser?
yeah, the infomercial.
Yeah, that was one of your best. Hilarious. This one, and then when you guys released the carbon fiber fender and Ted drives over.
Yeah.
That was good, and that was not fake. That fender is that strong.
Yeah, it was. It's just awesome.
You can park the van on it.
So
the other one that I don't know if you've watched, but you should watch is
I probably have.
Deep Shack Rack. The Deep Shack Rack video. Go back and watch that. Go Google that.
Okay.
That's another. It's pretty funny.
Can't believe
I watched it the other day. It's ridiculous. So.
Yeah, most of the time my kids do a deep dive, because there's only a couple YouTube channels that we will let our kids, without like really watching them, hey, yeah, you can get on Onewheel and watch all their videos. So they are constantly just going back watching this stuff on here because it's safe, right?
Yeah.
It's like my kids can watch it. I don't have to be fearful of it. And so they're always watching stuff. So I'm sure they've seen it. Jack, I thank you for your time today. It's been an honor to hang with you.
There's so much more we can talk about. There is.
I feel like we didn't even get to anything. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
but there are. We should do it again.
I think we should, and we can get into ORL, and we can. But I just today, first time on our podcast, it was.
It's great to get to.
I want people to get to know you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Same with Laser. Like that was our heart today, and then we'll bring you back whenever you're available to maybe after Dirt Surfers or something, and check in on.
Are you going to Dirt Surfers?
I believe that I am. Yeah.
Sweet.
Haven't booked my tickets yet. I know a good part of the crew is going and is booked. But yeah, if I can make it there, I definitely will.
Well, we'll be there. That's going to be our debut race this year.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome. We're bringing a team of like 20 from here to help
run the whole race.
Run the race. Yeah, we said we'd help them.
Good
be able
for
to
you.
Do it. So,
race ops is hard. Super hard, always a challenge.
And Nick was saying he needed help. I was like, hey, we can
do that.
I can get 20 people come down and help get everything ready for the event, and so we're pretty stoked.
Wow. We're gonna put our 3-year-old right at the timing place where he's gonna stand.
Get out of here. She thinks she's so funny.
Jack, actually very smart. Actually very smart.
Is there anything as we land the plane? Anything you want to say before we say goodbye to you? And that can be anything. It does not need to be one we related. It could be, hey, this is my sign off. This is what I want everybody to hear today. Any thoughts?
Yeah.
He's in deep thought.
Oh, I have so many thoughts, but
Jack is
I just had such a nice time chatting with you all today. I really appreciate the invite, having me on. I'd love to do it again. There is so much more to be discussed. I think that's the one wheel world is it's exciting, and there's a lot happening, and I think there's just a lot to be excited about. So thanks for this session. But yeah, let's run it back, Scott. And you guys are awesome. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, you said yes. I was like, I think my first word back to you when you said yes was really? Exclamation point, question mark. I was like, that happened really fast. I was like, great. But yeah, sure. I think come back, and I would love to pick your brain on Race for the Rails. I think a lot of people, we talk about that a ton here. And maybe
we talked about the ORL stuff before we went live, but I think there's really good and interesting questions about like the structure, and as I was talking about, like how do you bake in enough flexibility for the organizers and the riders, but have enough structure where it can scale and really become something that's real and official and not sort of flimsy and backyardy.
Sure.
So I think these are things that I think are really interesting, and obviously we've thought about quite a bit, but deserve a real discussion, and it's one that I would love to have with y'all.
Well,
awesome.
We have ideas, and we're fans, so we have some thoughts, like as viewing and consuming it, to make it easier to process, because I think that helps the ORL take off for the fans to be able to easily follow what's going on. I think when things get complicated, like golf, what makes the entry level to golf is not to play, but as a fan is hard. Same with hockey, hard, because you can't understand all the rules, so it's hard. And so I think as we have some thoughts that
we're like, good point.
As a fan, like how do you make it to where the fan goes, I understand it, so the onboarding is easy for them to go, that's my racer, that's who I want to go, and know how to track them. And we talked about that after or before. Is it colored helmet, a jersey that you have to wear that we know that this is the 4 people racing? So we'll talk all about it later.
I think that's a great point. And super always open to all suggestions and ideas and everything.
You guys are
we talked about this, but by no means do we think we have it all figured out. I think that's one of the biggest things, like the goal is improving, every season. But yeah, it's early days. So
that's amazing about you guys. That shines bright when we get to talk to you.
Definitely work in progress. But yeah.
That's the fun of it. I remember
but
X
hopefully
Games.
Progressing.
It is progressing. This year,
sure.
Look at us. I've said goodbye like 600 times a year. But the ORL is much easier to follow already this year because it's clear. Okay, there's points, and there's first, second, and third, and we can follow that. Last year was a little bit like college football, and it was like, so somebody behind the curtain is telling me what their projection value is. This year it's a little bit, I can understand this is what you get for first, second, third. And so
it's fun to watch it all progress, for sure.
Yeah. I almost think, and I think this is, I'm trying to think what other sport this is true in, but I think it's almost like a CrossFit's like this. You used to do CrossFit. You used to do CrossFit?
No, but I do like that type of, I haven't formally done anything like that, but I'd be into it, I bet.
What did you do? You did some video where you're flipping something like it was a CrossFit event.
Oh, I was flipping tires.
Yeah, but one-wheel tires, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I think like in CrossFit, the women's division is much more polarizing than the men's for whatever reason right now, and I think that like the women's division has a lot of momentum. I feel like with just who's riding and racing, and you're just watching it. I like that in ORL that the women's are on the rise.
Yeah,
and so it's awesome.
A ton of talented women out there that are racing now, watching Mercedes and Allie and Rachel Cecil and Rachel Payne and all of them. Yeah, it's a good group at the top right now. So
and then Raquel comes back, hits third.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's impressive. Yeah, that's impressive.
Totally.
So
totally.
Okay, look, I kept going.
Real. Thank you for your time, Jack.
Jack, it was a pleasure. One day I will meet you again in person.
Until then, yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep. Have a good
Take
beer
it easy, y'all.
tonight, and we'll chat later, okay?
Sounds good.
Bye, Jack.
Bye, Jack. Man, that is Jack Mudd, everybody from Onewheel. Woo! That was good.
I've never gotten to meet him, like chat with him, like face to face. I mean, this was the closest. What a great guy.
Yeah. It's such a privilege to be
He
able
said
to.
so many things that I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and
For the
again,
Onewheel world.
our hopes was, and I will say this till I'm blue in the face, is like our first interview with anybody is to get to know them.
Yeah.
And then you can get into, maybe you've seen that it's like even with Allie and Kyle and Jeff.
Then you
like,
get into philosophy of what they think.
yeah,
or
you're
whatever,
kind of getting like, hey, who are you? What makes up the way you, and then you get into all the technical things. Oh, what's the PSI in your Onewheel, and what do you, and so getting the chance to sit down with Jack there and just hear his thoughts on a lot of big thoughts.
On life,
Yeah,
on One
so
Wheels,
good.
it was
So
so
good.
And I think what he clearly says, like he'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't mind being asked the tough questions people
Right.
want to ask, and so that's great.
And again, I think to the perception, there's just these guys out there in California. They're just guys that just are like surfers and just one-wheeling, and they're not really
Trying to make it hard for everybody.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, hold on. They're actually thinking through these things.
Yeah.
And they have a strategy, and they want the
sure.
best of the best. And so hopefully you saw that today, and we'll bring them back, and we're going to fire away a bunch of questions. He said before we went live, nothing is off the table. And we just, again, we're not the kind of podcast that's trying to get anybody in a corner and make them feel some. We love those guys out there and the girls out there that are working hard, making a product.
We want to know them.
Yeah.
We want to know who they are, what makes them tick, and what makes them love One Wheel.
Yep. So thank you, everybody. If you made it this far and you have not subscribed to this channel, why? Like, seriously, just do that already. Just do yourself a solid favor and hit the subscribe button and give thumbs up. Drop a comment on the video. Maybe go over and find a Onewheel video or Instagram post and just thank Jack for being here with us. What a privilege to chill with that guy. And everybody have a fabulous, safe Wednesday, and we'll see you next week on our podcast. And we have a lot of things that we're going to be dropping over we do have reviews coming. And we are currently getting through some things in the office. We don't have an office between last week and now. That office flooded and it is completely destroyed. So I couldn't even find a camera right now outside of a GoPro.
Our current office situation is my homeschool situation.
Table, yeah. So we're up there working next to these kids, 8 kids going to school. It's awesome. We're all
They
now
love
homeschooled.
it because their days tend to get cut a little bit short.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Yes.
sweet, it's nice out. Let's go One Wheel.
Yes,
That's part of
yes,
their
indeed.
PE program.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Have a good night. We'll
Bye,
talk to you
everybody.
later. Bye.